Today is Monday, June 21st. It's 90 degrees outside, but feels like 102. Welcome to summer in Miami Beach. Now, it's been a little bit since I've made a beach video for you guys. The last one was actually February 8th, and it was what winter was like in Miami Beach, and then I realized I don't have a video of what summer's like here. So go back and check that video out when you have a chance. I'll link it down below and at the end of this video so you don't miss it. But when I made that video, it was 68 degrees outside in February, and now it's 102. So how many degrees difference is that? Quite a bit. Now, even though summer is not my favorite time of the year at the beach, a lot of the locals would beg to differ because that's when a lot of the locals come to the beach here. And I'm going to show you guys what the water's like today. That's one of the main things people love about the beach here in Miami in the summertime. It's starting to get very warm. I'll put the water temperature up on the screen. I forgot to check it while I was shooting this, but it's considerably warmer than it is in the winter time. And you guys can see the water's pretty clear today. It's hazy outside, so you know, unless there's direct sunlight, it's kind of hard to see all the way to the bottom, but that's why it's not as clear as it actually is. But the water's actually pretty clear and it's very warm. And here's what I mean. Check out the sky. And when you go back and look at that winter video, you'll be able to see the skies were just nothing but blue skies. And today it's pretty hazy out here. This is pretty normal for the summer actually. We get a lot more hazy, overcast type days in the summer here in Miami. We also get, you know, blue sky days too. There's lots of blue skies there. But we have lots of clouds going on too. But in the winter, it's pretty common for it to be clear blue skies and not a single cloud in the sky. One thing you'll see a lot of in the summertime at the beach here in Miami Beach are these sea turtle nests. You see, they go around all over the beach and they rope them off like this to make sure people don't disturb the nests. And which is a great thing because these nests are very sensitive. You don't want to mess with them, guys, and it is a big felony to do so. But really, you should just respect nature and just leave them alone because the sea turtles already have a hard enough time with all of the obstacles we put in front of them as humans. So at least they do this to try to protect them as much as they can and give them a fighting chance. Now, if you want to have any chance at all at staying cool when it's 102 degrees outside, this is pretty much the only way. You pretty much constantly have to get in and out of the water like this, probably every 20 minutes or so, because after baking in the sun for 20 minutes, it gets pretty hot, guys. And luckily, the water is still on the cooler side because later on in the summer, usually around August and September, that's when the water gets the warmest. I mean, it gets so warm that the water literally feels like you're plunging into a bath, and it can feel actually hotter sometimes than the outside air temperatures. So it's almost like there's no relief when the water gets that warm. A lot of people love that. That's not my favorite thing about the beaches here, but I love the beach no matter what time of year. I mean, that's why I live here on the beach, guys. So at the end of the day, I'm here, I'm not complaining. Here I'm taking you guys down the same stretch of beach that I did in my last video. As you can see, things look pretty much the same as they did then. It's kind of empty because it's a weekday. Anybody who knows me knows that I love when the beach is empty like this. It's so much more peaceful than when it's crazy and crowded. But just looking at the beach from this perspective, obviously you cannot see temperature, but being almost 40 degrees Fahrenheit warmer, let me tell you guys, it makes a big difference. So really, it's up to just your preference, you know? Do you like extreme heat and humidity? Do you like the bath water? If you do, you'll probably love summer in Miami Beach. Anyone who saw the winter video would probably remember that there was a ton of little jellyfish in the water around that time of year, because usually late winter, early spring is when the jellyfish start arriving here, and that's usually when you see the most of them. But as you'll see right now in the summer, you don't even see a single one, which is pretty normal actually. And in the summertime, what you'll start seeing instead are a bunch of little crabs. And I don't see any today, but they like to hang out in those little pieces of seaweed right there. A lot of times you'll find them clenching onto one of those, and once in a while you might get clamped on by one of them if you get too close, but for the most part, they're harmless. And if I see one, I'll show you guys. I actually prefer when it's like hazy like this in the summertime, mainly because the sand doesn't get so hot, and it does make a little bit of a difference in how cool it feels out here, because when it's totally direct sunlight, no clouds, it just gets too hot, guys. I mean, you're just breaking a sweat just sitting here. No matter what you're doing, you're sweating. And when it's like this with the breeze and a little bit of an overcast, is actually my favorite type of beach day of the summer. And that's why I decided to come out here today and share it with you guys, because, you know, I've said in the past I don't really care for the beach in the summertime, but you know what? I love the beach all times of year. And to be honest, it's much better to be here at the beach than being out grinding on the street. Like when I was doing real estate deals on the scooter, I used to drive a scooter around Miami Beach, and imagine being on the street when it's this hot. You know, you got the blacktop, all the cars running, no air conditioning, you're exposed to the elements. It probably felt like closer to 115, 120 on the road. So man, I don't miss those days. Let me tell you, this is a much better life. One thing to note also is that even though there's a breeze going on out here, guys, the breeze is also warm. The breeze is not a cool breeze like you would traditionally think of if you're living somewhere up north and you get that nice cool breeze. It's not a cool breeze. It's a warm breeze. It's just more hot air blowing at you. I know that's kind of hard to imagine maybe for some people, but if you come here and experience it for yourself, you'll see what I mean. And that's one of the reasons why I tell people, you know, if you're gonna move down here, make sure you come to Florida and experience the summer here as well, because a lot of people just come here in the winter time as a snowbird for years on end, and then they think it's gonna be like this all year, and obviously it's not. So you definitely need to come and experience the range of seasons that we have here in Florida, which is basically mild and hot. So it's very important to experience that before you make your move down here. Another thing that might seem kind of obvious, but is important to note, is you really want to wear sunscreen out here in the summertime. The Florida sun is significantly stronger than like up in Illinois where I'm from, or if you're from anywhere in the northern half of the country, guys. The summer sun down here is a lot stronger, and you will get burned in under an hour with no sunscreen on. And even with sunscreen on, if you're out here for a few hours and you don't reapply, you could still get burned. And as you can see on my weather app here, the UV index is like 11 today, which is very high. It means that the UV rays coming from the sun are very strong, and you need to protect your skin. Obviously, some people are worried about skin cancer when it gets this hot and intense. I don't blame them. And I usually only stay out here for probably a couple hours at a time in the summertime, usually not much longer than that, just because it's too hot, and I really don't want to stay longer than that. Because after you're out here for a few hours, it feels good to go back inside and be in the air conditioning. The only downside is every time I do that, it makes me tired and I want to take a nap. And a lot of times I do. Now that the sun's out in full force for a minute, you can see how clear the water is today. You can definitely see to the bottom. It's a beautiful day here at the beach in Miami Beach. One of the other benefits to coming to the beach in the summertime is that you do get a lot more time at the beach. Say if you want to spend all day here, you can stay here till probably about 6:30 in some spots. If you choose the right spot, you'll have sunlight until about 6:30. After that, the sun will start setting behind all these buildings here, and it will just be, it'll still be light outside, you just won't have any sun at the beach. And that's one thing I do love about the Gulf Coast, guys, is like, since I'm not a morning person, you know, I get up late, I stay up late, I would love being able to go see the sunset every day at the beach. Maybe not every day, but you know what I mean. Every time you go to the beach, you don't have to worry about what time it is. You could get to the beach by 5 o'clock and stay there till sunset, no problem. That's one thing I really enjoyed about being on the Gulf side during my trip in Florida. You guys will see that in some of the upcoming videos. I know they haven't been released yet, and you'll see this one first. It's just something I have to note because I haven't been to the Gulf side in a few years, and after being back there again, it just reminded me of how much I love seeing those sunsets over there and being able to just come to the beach until it gets dark outside, which is just pretty great. Now I gotta tell you, since I do prefer when the water is cooler than this, that would be one of the biggest negatives for me to live on the Gulf side, because in the summertime, those Gulf waters get even warmer than the Atlantic side here, and it is one of the benefits of living on the East Coast versus the Gulf Coast, in my opinion, because it already gets warm enough here, and I really wouldn't want the water to be any warmer. Obviously that's outside of my control, but you can control which coast you live on. One thing I'm really looking forward to is I might have an opportunity to go back to California this year for a while, maybe even a couple months actually, later on this summer. And I really can't wait to get there and make a lot of comparison videos for you guys, especially at the beach, to show you what the beach is like over there versus the beach over here. You know, they both have their pros and cons, that's for sure. And you know, it's just awesome as a beach person to be able to go and visit a bunch of different beaches. And if I can go there and make some videos for you guys, I think that would be even cooler. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the beach in the summertime or the winter time here in Miami Beach? Let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, check out my next video right over here, and I'll see you guys over there.